beginning contact moves to lightsaber, to double lightsaber. I've made a few modifications to my lightsaber. Number one, put on a grip. You can get these from a few different places. I got this grip from Dark Monk. And if you notice, it's similar but a bit different to my contact staff. So, as well as in my quick connect coupler, I have added some epoxy and 15 dimes to make it heavier. So, because this part wants to roll on me, so I have some weight right behind it to help keep it stable. Beginning contact moves and then incorporating them to lightsaber. Number one, you have to create what's called a cradle on your wrist. So if you've had a broken wrist or if you have wrist pain issues, contact might not be the best for you. But you create what's called a cradle. Now, I'm keeping it here nice and simple. When you get started, you will not. It'll always want to move around on, oh boy, yeah, like that. But the first step is learn how to walk around while keeping it steady. And once you get that, start taking it back and forth. You can use your body to help stop the staff if needed. The reason that you need to be able to do this, to have a cradle when you're doing contact staff, you actually have on one arm going to the neck, you have 3 cradle positions. You have wrist, elbow, shoulder. Shoulder, elbow, wrist. And then one of the things you can do to practice is actually doing small tosses to the elbow and catching it. And the thing is when I catch it, I'm pinching it. So it's also called a pinch point. Pinching it here, you have a pinch point here, here, and you can send it from one position to another and for me the most difficult part was learning out here. Now switch over to the lightsaber. The reason that I showed the cradle positions and what's not is for beginning contact staff. If you do not have any experience with contact staff, number one, a basic one from a place like Trick Concepts, $80, $89. You can go better. Dark Monk has a decent one for $110, I think. And the flames last longer. So there's a range. Now, I have lightsaber in the cradle here, and the reason I suggest learning contact staff first is this is not weighted for contact. I have made some modifications to help, but it's still different because with contact staff the weights are at the end. For this staff the weight is at the center, and I did that in order to make it heavier. So you start with your cradle, and if you want to do the slides, I would suggest having your hand like this to begin with and just working it through and feeling how it will go when you do this stuff. I was starting to do a bit more advanced of a move, but let's not concentrate on that. Start learning tosses from one hand to the next. Start learning how to correct mistakes. And as you see, it was going to start moving, but then I pinch pointed. And you can do stuff like that. That is more advanced and will take practice. And what I showed you before, if you don't have the contact staff of doing this while learning, it works. And then after you start getting it down, start leaving your hand off but still in place. And that way you won't lose control of it. And then eventually you can get that hand uninvolved. That is how you practice and drill to start contact moves with lightsabers.